Hello and welcome to this edition of the Monday Minute. My name is Ken Freeman, and on this amazing Monday, my question is, how do you find your next major donor? Today's topic are the 6 P's of effective relationships. In a survey by Dan Miragon of Miragon Consulting conducted over the summer, the most pressing issue for nonprofit managers is that of cultivating major donors. Every ministry wants to find that next donor. They are our very lifeblood. They are the ones who get it and want to invest in what God is doing through your ministry. But the problem is, in order to know where to look for that next major donor, you have to know the need that you need to fill. We need to remember what a major donor is. They are not simply a person who gives more this year than they did last year. That is called a lift, which we certainly want, but it is not what makes a major donor. As the story goes, a major donor is a person who wants to make a significant investment in what God is doing in your ministry and to do it in a sacrificial way. This gift is meant to have an impact. In order to achieve this impact, you need to approach finding your donors using these 6 P's in your process of building relationships. Number 1, to prayerfully begin your process. It must begin here with prayer. If we want God's provision, we need God's leading, protection, will, and participation. Prayer is the only way this happens. Number 2, being planned. You have heard the old saying, without a target, you can't hit what you're aiming at. In this area of finding key major donors, you need a project description that envisions a better, more effective future for the people you serve, funded by the people who share that vision. This case statement needs to make sense from the donor's side of the aisle and should complement your overall ministry case for support. Just like American Express says, don't leave your office without it. Number 3, it needs to be personal. The potential major donor wants to know you and the ministry, and more importantly, wants to know that you care about them and their interest. This can only come about by getting to know them in a personal way. Learn to listen more than you speak. Listen for areas they care about and think about programs that match those interests. The more you really know about them and what makes them tick, the more likely you will see a match. Number 4, be patient. As much as you need the money now, you also need to be patient. For a donor to really understand the opportunity before them, it may take some time. Remember who the players are in this relationship. You tell a compelling story, God motivates them to act, the donor gets the responsibility of deciding whether or not to give in accordance to God's will for their life. And then number 5, permission. Get their permission before moving on to the next step. Unfortunately, many ministry personnel operate from a persuasion mindset. They mistakenly believe that their job is to convince the donor of the worthiness of the project. Rather, you should be talking about the lives that are impacted for Christ when significant investment is made and asking the donor's permission to show them what your program could do with their help. And then finally, persistence. This may be the hardest P to embrace, especially when the budget keeps reminding you of its ever-growing need for cash. The answer is to see more people, tell the story more often, and to pray continually that God will lead you to His provision for His ministry. Remember this, Psalm 127 says, unless the Lord builds a house, they who labor in vain. This does not mean we have to sit in our office playing solitaire on the computer waiting for checks to arrive. It means we follow the advice from the old Irish potato famine. Pray for potatoes with a hoe in your hand. You need to practice these P's in order to find that next major donor. To get this free report, just enter your name and email in the form directly below this presentation. And please feedback and let us know what you think about the new format of the Monday Minute. Thanks for listening, and share this report with someone you know needs to hear it. Now, until we meet again, which I hope will be really, really soon, this is Ken Freeman reminding you, keep up the good work you're doing. You are making a difference. Thanks for listening.